seldom see through his bars of rage. The cage bird sings with fearful trill of the things unknown but longs for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the cage bird sings of freedom.
I work for the company. I work for the company. This will probably be one of my last videos on English as a foreign language or English as a second language. I've been seeing a lot of amazing teachers online who have just 100% wholeheartedly been focusing on, their English teaching videos, and they have their cute little TikTok videos that they use on Instagram as well. And that's teaching. I've been doing it for over a decade, but I'm also a political scientist, and of course I'm also a writer and a mother, and just a lot of things that I have to do. I just wanted to give my top 5 pieces of advice that I hope will help. So here I go. You will come to the party, won't you? You'll come to the party, won't you? When in doubt of a pronunciation of a word or a phrase or a longer sentence, always do the 3-step clapping the syllables out challenge. So I always start out with slow paced, then medium paced, and then finally fast paced, clapping out the syllables. So for example, let's take the example of she sells seashells by the seashore, the famous tongue twister, right? So let's go. Do it first. Let's do it slowly. Let's go. She sells seashells by the seashore. Step 2. She sells seashells by the seashore. Finally, step 3. She sells seashells by the seashore. It's kind of like flamenco. She sells seashells by the seashore. I assure you, these claps, these syllables, and this step-by-step speeding up to get to the final fluent level, native level of pronouncing all these sentences will help you. She sells seashells by the seashore. You can do it. The dime easier. They tell me the dime easier. They tell me the dime easier to understand. They tell me that I'm easier to understand. Another piece of advice that I would give would be going in front of a mirror, seriously, when you're alone, when you feel embarrassed to do this in front of class or other people, and just watch the way your mouth moves when you pronounce words. When you watch YouTube videos and different videos in terms of from your textbooks, online, etc., ebooks, right, on speaking, you will see a lot of teachers, we do this. For example, we say wa for W, v for V, the difference, right? 12, for example, the number 12, right? It's like 12. I have some videos on this as well. I always like to use V versus W as an example because it really matters. We have gotten used to it. We embarrass ourselves all the time, but when you do it in front of a mirror, I assure you, it will help you in your pronunciations. So look up words, and I will give you some here that will help you to pronounce different sounds that are often confusing, that are in front of a mirror, looking at your mouth. So V versus W, 12, 12 ways to water a vase. For example, right? I don't know, put some water in a vase for some flowers. Flowers, right? Not flowers. Flowers. What? W. So that is one example. Or th versus t, right? Th, th, th. Right? So make sure in front of a mirror that your tongue is under your top teeth. Right? I like this class. This class. Okay, so again, just whatever sounds you're having trouble with, please don't be shy to go in front of a mirror and face yourselves. You will improve if you can see yourself as your own competition, right? The way you were before and the way you are now. You will improve after you watch yourself on video and also listen to yourself on audio and or video. Try it. Accent training. There's a lot to learn, but I hope to make it as enjoyable as possible. I should pick up on the American intonation pattern pretty easily, although the only way to get it is to practice all of the time. finally, there is no piece of advice greater than believe in yourself. This is a cliche, it's been said over and over, but it's true. Kendinize inanın lütfen. Okay, you will see the picture. I was that little girl who came to this country at age 7 without a word of English. And the next year I was representing my school in the district-wide story-wide contest. Why? Did I suddenly magically turn into a brilliant native English speaker? No, I was very heavily accented at the time. But I was determined, I was practicing, I was reading those stories and then reading it so many times that the story just got memorized in my brain, and then I was able to enunciate the words and pronunciations in a way that they thought was expressive enough that they deemed me worthy of being a storyteller, even though I was not a perfect speaker. So there's no place better than the United States to feel accepted regardless of your different accents, especially here in New York where I am. So never feel embarrassed of your accent, your beautiful accent that shows your background, okay? Feel proud, but nevertheless, we do want to feel understood, right? So definitely try your best. Always listen to, American shows in English with English subtitles, not your own language, English subtitles, so that whenever you hear a word, you should also see that same word as a subtitle, not the word in your language. You want to see the word in English and hear the word in English. So make sure to do that. And of course, the last one is intonation. I cannot stress, pun intended, stress, intonation. I cannot stress this enough. Intonation means a lot. A lot of times students, international students, they pronounce words rather correctly, relatively crumple. We're going to the market. Would you like anything? Do you want anything? Okay, sometimes students pronounce that as we are going to the market. Would you want anything? Okay, so they're not pronouncing the words wrong per se, as much as the intonation is not native-like or fluent-like. So the intonation is like, the rise and the fall, the rise and the fall, and also the stress. Which words do you stress more, right? So which words do you stress more, okay? Those things do matter. So study your stressing, study your intonation. So do you want anything from the market? Right, it's correct. We're going to the market. We're going to the market, right? So we're going to the market. So little things like that, it matters a lot. Stress and intonation. Practice those and you will be understood much more clearly. Ba is on the phone. Ba is on the phone. Ba is on the phone.